Hi, Olga. How are you?
Hi, Isabella. Very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Such a pleasure and honor to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Well, Olga, you have a stunning career. You started from Weinkleben. Before that, of course, in Russia, but that was the main focal point that take you to a completely life path. I would love for you to be able to share your story, how you started, all the way to whatever you like to end with.
Of course. I grew up in Russia, in Moscow. I was born in Moscow. I was born in the family of musicians. My both parents are pianists. And, for me, it was very natural to start playing piano because I heard piano in our, apartment. And since probably even since when my mom was pregnant with me, she was playing. So I think I heard music even in her belly. So because when I was born, I always was, since very very early age, I always wanted to play piano. I started probably the first time I touched it like 2 3 years old, and I was just so curious about this instrument. It's just gorgeous, beautiful instrument. And first my mom wanted me to be in the ballet, because of course Russian ballet is so famous. And she always loved, of course, ballet music. All that great Russian composers who wrote incredible ballet music. So she wanted me to be a ballerina. So when I was 3 years old, I started ballet classes, and I didn't like it. I just wanted to sit at the piano and play this instrument, not to stay somewhere by the bar and put my leg, like really up. And then the teachers were really tough. They were really strong with these little kids, saying, no, you stay with that leg up for half hour and don't move. So for me, I said to my mom, so please just let me. I love dancing, but I love much more playing piano. So since really early age, I already knew myself that I wanted to play piano, which is quite unusual for that, a little child being so enthusiastic about piano music. And actually the same thing happened with my son. He said only piano, and I wanted to do it since early age. He also started like since 3 years old. So that was my beginning. My mom was my first teacher. Then I had an amazing teachers in the Central Music School in Moscow. And I was fortunate. I was one of the last pupil of incredible teacher, Eugene Timakin, who wrote many works on the, kind of like his own school exercises, how to get the right method for teaching children specifically, starting with the young age and prepare them with the base of technique, and special sound, and I mean everything. He was so incredible to really come to his lessons were just such a joy every time, because it was not really just a lesson. It was like a master classes, because teachers from all over Russia was coming, traveling, just specifically come to his class and learn. And every time it was incredible experience. He was giving me right in the class, in the lesson, the new exercise, for example. He was really very interested about the polyphony, about inner voices, how you need to listen to every voice in each hand. And those exercises were sometimes just so intense. But you needed to repeat it right away, right there in the class. So that was very challenging, but very interesting. And every time I was just coming to the lesson, looking forward, to a new surprise. That was really an amazing time for me. From Central Music School, I was after the 11 years, which we have in Moscow, in Russia, it's a different education than US, of course. So you stay in the whole 11 years in one school, which is elementary, middle, high, all together. Then I was in Moscow Conservatory with Professor Sergei Darensky. He passed away just recently. He had always incredible class of many fantastic pianists. So that was a really different kind of time for me. It was a big competition between all of these fantastic, very different personalities, great pianists. So that was also really an amazing experience, being in the Moscow Conservatory. The whole building is just reminding you of this incredible people who studied there with that great spirit around you. That was also very special. Then I also studied in wonderful school in Imola in Italy, Accademia Pianistica di Imola. That time it was just so different for me, coming from Moscow to this incredible, warm, beautiful Italy with this incredible, music life, a theater, concerts. That was very special. The academy is based in a fantastic, very old building, and Leonardo da Vinci was actually an architect of that castle. It's a castle. And then the school is right there in that castle. So for me, of course, it was so inspiring. And that school was giving us opportunities, all the students, which were not that many. I think every year they were just taking only 2-3 students, the new students. So it was a big competition to enter. And it was just incredible because it was a lot of master classes, a lot of great pianists coming and great teachers coming, and we could play for them, Leon Fleischer, Michel Berberov, and then, Yazinski. I mean, all of them, Marta Argerich. I mean, so many great people came to, really spend time with us, the students there. So that was a really special time for me. And of course, as you said, since early age, I had a lot of competitions. Actually, I think nowadays it's very important to participate in the competitions, because this is how a young talent can be discovered. More or less that's the whole. Now it's the whole life. You can't be discovered but not playing the competition. And since early, I was I think 11 years old. The first competition was in Prague, Concertina Praga, for the young pianists. I won that, and then was the first big competition for me. I was the youngest there. It was the first international Rachmaninoff piano competition in Moscow. And being 17 years old, playing already Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto, and it was only mono competition, 4 rounds, only Rachmaninoff music. It was very special time for me to really dig into that incredible music in his life. I read about his life. I read letters. I read, and especially knowing that also my family had kind of like Rachmaninoff touched our family with his presence, because my great-grand mother, she was a singer, mezzo-soprano, and she was performing with Rachmaninoff. Rachmaninoff was accompanying her in many concerts in Russia. And my family has programs from that concerts. And in his memoirs, in the 2 books of Rachmaninoff's memoirs, there is this special dates written where exactly they were performing together, what's the dates. And That was also very special for me, knowing that really Rachmaninoff knew my great grandmother, and they were actually performing together. So it's kind of like I said, his genius touched my family, a little bit. So for me, it was really twice more special to even be able to participate in this competition and playing all his music and being in this, a life of Rachmaninoff music, from early opuses to late opuses. It was incredible, and of course I was not even thinking to win, because there was incredible pianists, really mature, 32 years old, already really with a big career, and to just get the first prize for that special competition for me was really incredible, really incredible. So after that, I started to perform really a lot in Russia with all best Russian orchestras. I traveled everywhere, in the whole Soviet Union, actually. And So that was my first big competition. And then after that, of course, I started to, participate in Japan, in China, and even in Morocco, in Italy. So many competitions I won. So before going to Van Cliburn, because you really need to I always say to my students, you really need to prepare yourself to that big step, because Van Cliburn as another big competitions like Queen Elizabeth, Chopin, Tchaikovsky, it's a top competitions, and you need to be ready for it. You can't just win. That's one thing. But another thing, how you can maintain your place, your first place after you win, because there is a lot of concerts. You need to be prepared to perform different repertoire right away with 100 concerts a year. So I always say that you need to be prepared before, and you need to know that it's a lot of hard work required. You need to work for it so much before. So that's why I did step by step smaller competitions, building the programs, building the repertoire, trying to see what I would like to show at the Van Cliburn, what would be the right program for me, so and I must say that really it worked very well. I had really different, I selected a different program, but all the composers which I knew I love and I want to play, because it's also very important how you choose your program. And for a competition like this, when you have all the freedom, it's all your choice. The first round, the semi-final round is all your choice. The first round, I think it was more than an hour. The second round was like a full concert length, the full recital length. So you have the freedom. You don't need to play Bach, Beethoven, classical sonata and romantic piece. You can show what you do the best, but you need to program it in the right way. So I had, Scriabin, late sonata, and of course, my favorite Brahms, and of course, Rachmaninoff. And I wanted to also perform Schubert, because I think Schubert shows very specific, refined sound and understanding of that, the colors of the piano, how you can control the sound, how you can make it really sweet and delicious. So it's a I love that impromptus which I played, and I paired it with the Brahms, Paganini variations, both books. And I think, like as I said, it's important to know that yes, this is what I can do 200%. 200%, not just 100, but 200%. And I also wanted to play a little bit of American music. And I learned the Barber Sonata, because when I heard Van Cliburn playing it in the recording. And I loved Van Cliburn playing since I was little, because my mom and my father, both of them, they actually was at the first Tchaikovsky competition in the public, so they heard him. And we always had, this vinyl plates. We always listened to a lot of Cliburn recordings. And my mom had really wonderful recordings. I still have that vinyl in Moscow. So, of course, after listening to that incredible music, played so beautifully, so romantic, I can say, even though some of this music is not romantic at all. But it was just so gorgeous for me. I was like, I need to do it. I must do it. So I learned it. I think that's the first time really I performed it as a real concert. I played, of course, in Imola in Italy a little bit, but that was like, but I was sure. And when you are sure, that's not a problem. So I was sure that I loved it so much, and I was so sure, and it was so exciting. And of course, that fugue in the last movement, it's just incredible and so exciting. So that's yeah. So that's the program which I knew that I loved, and I just wanted to show the audience. I was not playing for the jury, of course, because here, as I said, you have a completely free choice of the repertoire. And it feels like really you're playing a concert, not you're playing in a competition. And that was the first year in 2001 when we played in this incredible bass hall, which was just built there in Fort Worth. And the acoustic and the whole, it's a gorgeous place. Just the whole atmosphere was just so beautiful. And I just felt that, I'm so lucky because I'm here to perform just for this really exciting audience. So that was really very special and very joyful time, just to be there and be able to share what I can do. So yes, and after Cliburn, as I said, it was really very busy suddenly. And I always wanted to kind of feel how it is, because for the busy pianist, for a busy musician, how is this life of a busy person? Reading letters of Rachmaninoff, and he was saying that he was performing 300 concerts a year. For me, and plus he was composing, plus he was he did so much. And then 300 concerts, traveling. And that time it was very different traveling than now. So I was always curious how it's possible. And then the first year, of course, it was quite difficult to balance everything, but once I understood where is the right balance for me, balance between traveling, performing, and then rest and the family. My son was very little. He was just 1 year old when 1.5 when I went to Van Cliburn, So I left him in Moscow because I couldn't travel with the baby and perform, and it was quite difficult. But I needed to find that balance, and of course I needed to travel a lot to Moscow because he was there. My mom was helping me, and even though she was still working, she's a piano professor, and my father was more than 45 years in the Bolshoi Theater Orchestra, working as the orchestra musician. So they were busy, but they were helping me because they understood that I'm having a really an exciting time of my career, and plus my son really wanted to start exactly how I started. So he started in a central music school for the first 4 years. So I needed to go back and forth from United States, where I had the most concerts, to Russia. And then, yes, there are some concerts in Europe, or some concerts in Asia and Africa, and, but I was always trying to balance everything. And I always tell the young musicians that it's very important. If you don't have that balance, this busy travel and concert life can really worn you out very quickly, you know. So trying to find balance is very personal. And I have a wonderful friend, one of my best friends. She lives in Colorado, in Denver, and she was always telling me about balance, how important it is. And really, listening to this kind of people who really balance their lives, I was just teaching myself and learning how I can do it correctly. And I must say, it took me a couple of years. And yes, I was performing all over in those few years, because after Cliburn, you have a few years of engagements, which you need to perform. Because the competition is giving you that opportunity already. So yes, it was quite tiring, I must say. And then I was just learning. And then once I understood what exactly I need to do in a day of my concert or a day of the travel, how I can really balance every hour I have, you know? So that really helped me. And of course, now I'm looking back, and it's just, I know it was hard, because right now it's so much easier for me. And now people around me saying, wow, you're so organized, you know exactly what hour you need to do practice, what hour you need to rest, what hour you need to do like interviews or emails or whatever. And then that's all you need to do. It's the organization of your time. And of course, it's never enough time, because it's just not enough time in one day. Sometimes I stay long at night, because you just need to make sure that you do everything. And then you sleep less, but you have the results. So it really doesn't hurt you if you know exactly how you organize your life. That for me was very important. That's really a big kind of uh, like thing I can share with the young people, because it's really important. And since then I had already so many interesting projects, ideas, a lot of recordings, and I still have so many projects to achieve. So yeah, life is very busy, very exciting. I started to teach at Manhattan School of Music. It's been already, I think, 4 years already. So I wanted to do it earlier, but I knew, as I said, with the balance, I knew that it was not the right time for me, because you really need to dedicate your life to your students. I remember how my teacher in Central Music School, about whom I told already, how he was devoted to his only few students, because he was already old man, but his students were amazing. Mikhail Pletnyov, Iva Pogorelych. I'm talking about top incredible pianists. He always devoted his time to each of us, and no matter what, he was there for us always. So I always felt like he was a part of my family. So this is what I know, and I wanted to feel for my students the same. And I knew that before the 4 years, I was not ready to give that time. And even though now it's a very busy time, it's not like 4 years it was more busy and now it's less. No, actually it's getting more and more busy, which is fine, because I know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But I know that now I have a big part of my life I can dedicate to my students at Manhattan School of Music. And it's a fantastic school. I completely love teaching there. And as I said about Moscow Conservatory, that the whole building is just reminds you of that incredible people. The same with, old Manhattan School of Music building is just so special, with just great spirits there. Have really wonderful people who works And our piano faculty, they're just wonderful people. So it's a great atmosphere, a great students. And we all work, of course all students are very different. I can't have a big class, of course, because as I said, I want to have devoting time to each of them. But all of my students are, of course, need a different personal way of how to get to them. They're all very talented. They're very different. They're international group, Russian and Spanish and Chinese and Korean, like all, different people, and boys and girls. And you need to have for each very personal approach. I like to work a lot on, of course, for them to understand how to listen to themselves, because very often they play the notes, but they don't hear how one note connects to another one, and how you make a specific sound of that note to make that special connection to the next one. And this is what we are working on, for them to open their ears to really understand how one note can sound on just a piano differently. Because in just one piano, you can make a different colors. There are a million colors in one piano. It's a different colors, million colors in one forte. And you just need to hear it. And we spend a lot of time on this. And of course, technical side is also very important. I remember my teacher were always saying that without technical base, you can't go to the next level. When when you have this, you are not already thinking about that difficulties. You can bring your technical base on the level when this will help you to make music. So we also work on that quite seriously, because for me, to make music is the most important. To sing on the piano is the most important. But singing is not just you touch one key and it's singing. No, it's what you prepare your whole body for, and how you work on to make the piano sing, not just with the one melody, but with everything, with all material we have. And for piano music, it's the most difficult in our scores. There's so much written, so much things happening, and especially in of course compositions in Rachmaninoff music, when you have so much inner voices, so much things which you need to listen to, and that's very important. And that's what I always try to work with, with each student, and of course in a different personal level. But we always try to make the gradation of the sound make really. I love when you perform on stage and you have this incredible range between the pianissima and fortissima. I will never forget when Vladimir Horowitz came to Moscow and gave this historical concert in Moscow Conservatory. I was very little, and my grandfather, he passed away a long time ago. He was a very famous professor of oboe, and he had one ticket for me. So he gave it to me, and I was in the audience in one of the first rows. Now the DVD is available of this concert, so you can see a blonde curly hair there in the audience. So I will never forget that concert, that sound range, what he was doing with that piano, how it sounded when he was 86 years old, what the gradations were, what the colors were. I'll never forget the fortissima he made. And it was so warm and so nice. It was just all over each of us, and it was full, so full hall that from the balcony people were just like, already kind of like hanging out of the balcony. It was so many people. But what he did with that sound, with that instrument, it was incredible, unforgettable. The same I can say about my experience with Sviatoslav Richter when he came to our school, actually not my school, but my brother's school, Gnesin school, when my brother studied. And I was also little, and my mom said, I think I saw Sviatoslav Richter in the corridor. I don't know what he's doing here, but I need to find out. So we didn't go back home because she found out that he was actually performing the same night, and not so many people knew about that concert. He was already older, and it's a very nice little hall in the Gnesin school. And we were one of the first rows, and he was already older with the, of course, with the scores on the music stand, and with the candles. He didn't like a lot of lights, so those candles and that atmosphere of like kind of a lot of shadows, and just a very magical atmosphere. And he played the Brahms Paganini variations. So when he started, I thought that my hair was blown, just like, like a huge hurricane came and just made like, everyone suddenly alive. So that kind of sounds, that kind of incredible sensibility and ability to do anything on the piano, those geniuses, for me, were really inspiring. And this is what I'm trying to show my students, and this is what we are working on mostly. And yeah, that's important, because piano is a percussion instrument. You really need to work on the sound, and everything together makes it very important. And of course, pedalization, how you can do it without the right pedaling. And so this is all very important aspects, and we are trying to work whatever we can in the hours we have for the, like, school hours, and I always give them extra time if necessary, because, as I say, it's important to be devoted to your students. They're like my babies already. Yes. And then what also I can say, I love helping young people. I have my foundation. It's called Aspiration Foundation. We started it with my brother first. It was only in Russia. We were helping a lot of Russian kids who doesn't have any money for anything, to buy an instrument, to even sometimes buy concert clothes and music scores, because they just didn't have money even for this. And we are giving scholarships, and now it's incorporated in the United States. And I am sitting a lot in the juries now of the competitions, and sometimes I feel that I really need to encourage one or two young talented pianists by giving them my prize from the foundation, because if my name is on the competition, and if something is not how I feel that it's not right, the whole results, which of course you can't avoid, because competition is a competition. There are many different opinions in music, which is beautiful. But at the same time, sometimes the results are not for your liking, and sometimes I really feel that this young pianist deserves more, and I try to help them. They're also like my babies. They're writing me, and I'm trying to organize concerts for them. Just now in April will be a special concert for my foundation in Zurich, in Switzerland. I'm bringing some very talented young pianists to perform there. So I think this will be really good opportunity for them, especially for this. It's a great place, and a very important presenter. So I try to do what I can. I remember how important it was for me when I was little and starting, playing, and I was in a special organization called New Names in Russia, where they were helping young, talented, musicians all over Russia with the concerts, and I went in many places in Iceland, in France, in United States. They were taking us everywhere. It was very special for me, and I knew that I wanted to make those people proud of me. And because when you have that help from these people, you really want to do better, you want to work harder, you want to show them that this is the right way to do, because now I can do it even better, and I will show you the next time in a concert how I do, and you will be proud of me. So I think it's very important for the young people to feel that, to feel that support. And this is what I'm trying to do. That's how actually the whole idea of my competition was born. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was there in Albuquerque every year after Van Cliburn, after winning Van Cliburn. It was a very special place for me. I love it there. The whole nature is so inspiring. The mountains, it's always sunny, it's always beautiful. And of course, in Santa Fe as well. So between these two places, I've been many times. And then in 2013, the first time, one of the supporters of the symphony asked me if I will be willing to give my name to some project. They were not sure what it would be, but in Santa Fe, they have a very famous opera festival and the Chamber Music Society. In Albuquerque, they have a wonderful orchestra, but they don't have any projects there. So they were thinking to include the orchestra in that project. And I thought, why not do the competition, a piano competition, so we can help young pianists. And then in the final round, they can play with the symphony, with the New Mexico Philharmonic. And then, whoever win, they can come back and perform. And then I started to be more and more interested in this project. And then it took us 3 years to really put everything together. So the first competition was in 2016. I think it was a big success. And then it's happening every 3 years. So the second one was right before the pandemic. So we were lucky to have it live, 2019. We have wonderful winners. We are helping them a lot. And of course, I know a lot of presenters who believe me when I say that the winner will be just top class. So they're already inviting them, not knowing who will be the winner, inviting them for their future, concerts. So we have a really good a list of concerts for the winners. That's very important, I think. I think that's the most important, not just the money prize, but experience being on stage. That's the most important, I think. So this is what we are giving them. And the second one is actually happening, third one, sorry, it's the third one already. It's happening this year in October 2022. So we just started, we opened the application already. Application period I think will be for a few months available, or maybe a little bit less, but Olga Kern competition that I think org or com, I'm not sure, but if you Google Olga Kern competition, you find the website right away and all the information is there. And if someone is interested, please just apply, because we have a wonderful, really wonderful atmosphere there in Albuquerque. It's all taken care of. All of the contestants are living in the wonderful host houses, host families with the Steinways, new Steinways. The Steinway is bringing all the new pianos from New York for those contestants to practice on during the competition. We have one piano which is now is their own New Mexico Philharmonic piano, which is a New York Steinway. It's a wonderful instrument, and I chose for them this instrument, and I played already all Beethoven concerti on this piano. So that's a really wonderful piano. So now I will need to choose one Hamburg Steinway. So we always have New York and Hamburg on stage. So, contestants can choose between two. It's always Steinways. And this year we are putting a new round. It's a chamber music round. That's the first time we are doing it. I think it's very important to have a chamber music, even though a lot of times a lot of musicians are thinking that maybe it's not necessary for the competition. But I think especially for pianists, it's very important to show how you can listen to another instrument, how you really can work with another instrument. And this year we will have only piano duo, so it will be violin and piano. We have a wonderful violinist, Alexander De Costa, who is a very famous Canadian violinist, who is coming and performing with them. The program will be all Brahms sonatas, I believe. So contestants can choose between three, Brahms sonatas and play one. And that will be the new, chamber music round. And then everything else stays the same. We have two rounds before. The only thing, because of the pandemic, we decided that still, we were not sure about a live competition, the whole thing. So the first round will be virtual. So the 25 people we will choose from the pre-screening auditions will play virtually video, and the whole jury who will be in Albuquerque live will be judging them. So it will be same jury, it will be same repertoire as we would do a live first round. But we decided that with the 25 people, with all the problems around the world right now, with the traveling and with the visa situation, so it's better to be safe and do the first round online. And then the second round live will be already in Albuquerque, and it will be just a regular 1 hour recital program, just the choice of the contestants. So and then the chamber music, and of course the final round is with the New Mexico Philharmonic. So this is what we plan for. That's another project I'm doing, and I'm trying to help with this project the young talented pianists. Another project I'm doing already a few years, I'm the director of the chamber music series at the Virginia Arts Festival. And this is very important because, as I said, I think chamber music is very important. And just to dig into this incredible music, which is written for piano and other instruments together, it's just incredible. It's such an incredible world, and it's not enough. One life is not enough just to do everything. And I'm enjoying working with my friends, with the new people I never worked with, and I just recorded. Actually, before the pandemic, I recorded, and it will be released in few months. The new CD of Brahms Quintet and Shostakovich Quintet. It will be my first CD with chamber music. I have quite a lot of recordings, and I am trying my idea to record in my life the whole Rachmaninoff. That's what I want. One of my most favorite, I would say, CDs is Rachmaninoff Transcriptions, which was nominated for a Grammy, and I'm very proud of this CD. I did transcriptions together with Corelli Variations. So that's a very special CD for me. And this is how, I started with idea of doing all Rachmaninoff. And then I did cello sonata, which is incredible piece. And then I did, of course, sonata, the second one, which I did also, I performed in the Cliburn competition. So I'm still waiting. Yes, we have a DVD available of my Rachmaninoff third piano concerto from the competition time, but I want to do all Rachmaninoff concerti together with Rhapsody and Timba Paganini, because I'm playing it live many times, usually in two concerts. The one concert is number one, number three, and the second concert 2, 4, and Rhapsody, because 4 and Rhapsody are smaller pieces, so it's just kind of like fine for the full concert length.
How do you see your journey with your what we usually call the interpretation? I mean, you grew up with incredible influences and the training. Then you take your journey. You have a big personality and presence on stage as well. Now, after all these years performing, and where that's going to take you in the future, where you're heading?
It's a good question, because yes, I definitely change. I definitely change over the years. Looking at myself, remembering myself, the 17 when I played Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto, and when I'm playing it now, being played this piece, I don't know how many times. I don't know, 500. I don't know, but a lot. Every time is different. Every time is more mature. I'm thinking about different things, different details in the music. I love looking at the scores, because I think scores is giving you more or less everything, all the ideas what composer wanted you to know. Even in the like editions when you don't have much, you still can find everything looking at the music, at the everything what's written there. I think it's very important to practice sometimes with the scores. A lot of students, they just when they learn, they don't come back to the scores. And I think it's very important because you can find so many new things. And of course, when you are changing in life, when you, as you said, when you work with the great people, great conductors, and I worked with a lot of amazing singers. For me, that was really special experience, because I learned so much. How Chopin was always saying, just listen to voice, listen to the singer voice, what the singer is doing. This is what we need to do on the piano. And this is for me also very important. I always loved going to the opera. Of course, now being in New York, Metropolitan Opera is one of the best, incredible theaters in the world. And they have incredible productions with amazing singers. And I happen to know Placido Domingo very well. And, I've worked with Renee Fleming, with Kathleen Battle. And all of these experiences, they're all very different. They have a different approach to the voice, to that refined part of the voice. With Kathleen Battle, I learned something incredible, not knowing what the spirituals, what it is, how it is, what is this music. It's an incredible music of spirituals, and it's so, you need to know how to do it. And she's the best. She's a queen. She knows how to make rubatos. She knows how to take the time. The timing is so important. And learning all of this, of course you are immediately playing differently, with the listening to the timing, to the silence, to how to breathe, what the phrase you will do. I'll never forget when Cliburn came. I was in Interlochen after Cliburn competition for many years in the summer school, teaching and performing. And then once he came, I played the concert there, and then he came the next day. I said, oh my God, I need to stay and listen. And it was Tchaikovsky concerto he played. And I'm just so fortunate to say that I knew him very well. He was my mentor. I played for him many times. And my son, Vladik, he it was his inspiration, really, Cliburn, to just meet this incredible man with a huge hands, with a huge, incredible heart. When he was hugging you, or when he was talking to you with his eyes, you were forgetting everything in the world, what was around you. So that's how he was. It was a really incredible person and a musician. And I will just never forget how he came on stage and he played at Tchaikovsky with the youth orchestra from the Interlochen. And he loved being there because he told me that he was there many years when he was a student. So for him, Interlochen was a very special place. And those phrasing, what he was doing, from I remember his recordings of this great recordings of Tchaikovsky concerto, which I love, and Rachmaninoff's third. But what he did in Interlochen was totally different. And that phrasing, and I told the students who was sitting next to me, they were saying, oh, there was like some mistakes in the, that like fast place or something. I was like, no, don't listen to, everyone makes mistake. It's not about this. It's about music making. Did you hear what phrasing he did? No one can do that phrasing, because he was already on top. He was in that age, he had such experience. And this is what I think I go through, is to find this new approach to sing even more, to find that phrasing, to find that timing and rubatos, I think. And of course, the range of the sound, which we can work on all our lives, So that's interpretation wise. I think that's what I pay more attention at. It's not really little details which are important, but in the general, how I see the piece when I do that phrasing, when I do this breathing, how I can do it if, a great singer as Rene Fleming would do it, and if I work with a great conductors like Leonard Slatkin, for example, with whom I worked a lot with it, all Rachmaninoff concerti, all Tchaikovsky concerti, I can't just name it. And, we had a lot of projects together, and it's still, we are working together still. And we have interesting projects in the future. So when he is conducting the orchestra, feels different. They feel like one body, which is so fluently going into the piano, and you just right there in the middle of it. It's like total different level of music making. And of course, when you have that experience, when you work with, different orchestras in the smaller places, you're trying to bring that level there, and I love working. I was just in the Winter Park, Florida, for the Bach Festival, and I was there in the artist in residence, and I did 2 times Greek concerto, and then a recital, and then masterclass, and it's a small orchestra. But I just played a Greek concerto with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra on tour right before that, and I knew how this can sound, because Royal Philharmonic has this incredible, beautiful sound. And this is what I was trying to achieve. And with the conductor, John Sinclair, he said, just do it, just tell us, like, let's work on it. And it's wonderful experience, because then you can just change that sound to that level. And this is what I love. I love rehearsing, and I think now I am more flexible than I was before, because I was always thinking when I was younger that that's the only interpretation. If I have this, I can't listen to anything. Right now, I'm so much more flexible. I love when someone is sharing me and saying, can we do that differently? So with the, Royal Philharmonic, Vasily Pichenko was conducting, and he said, let's do this. And I was like, that's beautiful. Let's do that, and it's just immediately brings the piece to a different new level, So I love when every piece I play, not the first time, sounds fresh every time. So that's very important for me. And of course, the new piece I play, I just try to really concentrate more, as I said, on the musical aspect, no matter what, no matter how difficult the piece is technically, it needs to have that, waves and the phrases. That's the most important thing for me.
You have such a wealth of experiences and understanding of music and passion. I would imagine you try to bring that to nurture your students. But isn't that hard to do? How do you do that with students who have a lot less?
Oh, you need to have a patience, it's all about patience, and you just do it from class to class, from time to time, until it will be there. It's just a lot of patience, and they know they want to do it. And of course, I'm showing it myself every time. It's much easier when they hear, and I'm showing sometimes few times, I'm repeating, no, this is not correct, this is the sound we need to achieve, try it, listen to it, open your ears, listen to yourself. And it's happening. It's just of course it's a long work, but they're all very talented. And it's a really pleasure to work with such students, because they want to work, they want to achieve a different level, and it's just fun thing to do. Yes, it's a patient, but at the same time, the end result is wonderful. And we it's always a joy to work with them, always, every time. And sometimes they're asking me, and no, I just don't understand, and this and how. And we are trying to analyze what is the exact problem, and it's always very personal. So yeah, I think that even with my expectations, I think they are doing their best, and probably even more than that. Even with my former students, they go to my concerts, they want to feel that presence, to be part of that, to part of that music making. So we are sharing a lot of things together, and it's great. And you always need to understand that a student is very fragile, and they're in the middle of a lot of things in that period of time, and they learning a lot of things in school, and you just need to be really patient with them, and very caring, very caring for me. Because I remember my teachers, they never put voice up or anything. It was, everything was just nice. But when my teacher could say something not nice, but in a really, really quiet voice, I was so ashamed. I wanted to come and work at home and practice more and practice more. I just wanted him to make, for me, to make him proud of myself, And this is the important thing, not be too emotional about, yes, this is not right, this is not right. No, you need to be patient, and you need to show, and you need to explain what is maybe wrong here. And it's a really interesting process for me. I'm also learning from my students. It's a really interesting energy, in the classroom every time. It's I love doing it. I really think that teaching is also giving me a possibility to learn about myself new. And of course, when we were teaching online, it was a totally new experience for me, which I don't think I like, but we all needed to be in that period of time, the whole year, when we needed to be there for the students. and somehow explain them in the best way you can over a computer, over the internet. And I also learn a lot of things, how to do it, how to make the right way of doing it when you're playing the piano, so they can hear at least a little bit of a same sound I would like to, hear from them. So yeah, that was also an interesting experience. I think everything is a very interesting learning experience. I'm glad that we are back to live teaching, um, because it's a totally different feel. It's the same like a live concert. Live concert is live concert. There is this energy which you can't find anywhere, not in the recording, not on internet streaming thing. Live concert is the best thing in the world, and that's why I will always forget that incredible live concerts which when I was little, going to Horowitz and Richter and the Gills, and it was a life-changing experience for me. And that's very important for young people to understand this. They like to just now look everything on their iPad or computer, but it's very important to just go and experience a live concert.
Absolutely. That gives that life that you can't ever replace. Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. What can we expect from this mini course?
I feel like Rachmaninoff preludes are very, of course, important a period of his time, of his life, of his composition life and performing life, because he was performing his preludes a lot. And, I feel why I named it, songs kind of without words, because um, I played, as I said, I worked a lot with the singers, and I played a lot of Rachmaninoff romances, Rachmaninoff songs. And there is so much similarities in his songs and his preludes, because it's a storytelling every time. His preludes are like this. And it's poetry. And I want to point out the musical aspect, the aspect of his own rubatos. When Rachmaninoff played, even now there is a lot of books written. People are studying Rachmaninoff rubato, and that timing, that rubato, that musical aspect of each prelude, even fiery prelude, a G minor prelude, which is very famous, there is something like a middle part, which is singing, which is musically so similar to a song, and you really need to sing. You need to understand that it's all very imaginary, and it's a really, you need to tell a story, you need to sing that story. And that's what I want to point out in the mini course. I know it's only 1 hour, but I'll just try to talk about these things. And of course I'll play a few preludes as well. So I'm looking forward for this.
So much looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Olga.